All right, my young friends, listen, I get comments all the time from 17-year-olds, something about you magical 17-year-olds that are asking, all right, Kris, what advice would you give yourself if you could hop back? What can a 17-year-old really do when it comes to real estate? All right, my friends, today is Time Machine Day. If I could go back to the beginning and give myself advice, what would that look like? Now, I got to tell you, this is pretty easy for me to talk to a 17-year-old because my brother was 17 years old when I helped him get started, and he has since made multiple six figures in real estate investing. And he is an entrepreneur, has gone on to do a lot of other things. But when I was rocking out my real estate, my younger brother was asking me for help, like, Kris, what should I be doing? And so if you're 17 years old, what I want to do today is I want to share with you some of the advice that I gave him that helped him get fully launched and out the gate. Number one is that if you're really going to be an entrepreneur, that also means that you're going to be a leader. And you're going to have to lead yourself, and at times you may have to lead other people, but ultimately leaders are readers. And so what I told my younger brother is I said, dude, right now, if you are not going to go the typical college route, or maybe you will, but what you should do is you need to get in the habit of getting a different education that the school system will not provide for you. I remember recommending books to him like Think and Grow Rich, which is a book by Napoleon Hill on principles of how you create wealth. I remember recommending a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, from Robert Kiyosaki, saying, hey, learn about Robert's fictitious rich dad and poor father and how they financially acted different and made different financial choices. And of course, I even gave him my book that I've written, The Strait Path to Real Estate Wealth, a book you can download for free right here on my website. I give it to you also in audiobook format if you like audiobooks the way I do. I actually recorded that one in my own voice. And that book is all about my specific strategy and approach to creating wealth through real estate. And even though I'm just recommending 3 books right now, the reality is I would focus on books about being positive and optimistic, being a successful entrepreneur. There's a load of books out there. And if you are going to be on your own or you're going to be an entrepreneur, it's so important to have reading as a baseline. So even if you've never considered yourself a reader, because I know that there's some people out there that don't like doing that, you can at least be an expert listener of books too, right? That's even easier or different than reading. But I would recommend reading no less than 1 book a month, and I would prefer 2. That means that you've got to really be carving out probably 20 to 30 minutes of listening every day or reading every day to work through these books. Someone getting into real estate is ultimately saying, I'm going to carve out my own path in life, and you want to be educated. And so whether you're going to get the degree or not, like I did, which only got me so far, way beyond a degree, you need to be educating yourself and just understand that books are incredible ways of getting ideas that you're not naturally going to have on your own. And so that's the genre. I would delve deep into that personal development and then that financial arena, and I would read as many books. So I'm an avid reader, and I've read countless books in my life now. And that tiny little habit that I do every little day gets me more knowledge, gets me further down the road, gets me more educated. Which has led to tremendous success and continues to do so. So number 1, become an avid reader, Mr. 17-year-old or Mrs. 17-year-old. All right, the second thing that I want to recommend that you do is it's never too early to get real world training and experience in the realm of real estate investing. And I'll tell you that I have people that they'll write a pretty sizable check to work with my team to go around the country and get trained by us and learn from us. But I've also created a starter system. In fact, that's what it's called here on the website. The way that I created wealth in my life really came down to 2 creative forms of real estate. And these 2 forms mean that I don't need credit and I don't need money, but I can go out there and successfully invest in real estate. And the first is what I call a lease option. And this is based on my book that I wrote, that I refer to more lovingly as compassionate financing. It's a way of doing real estate with the least time, least effort, least risk, while providing a really amazing service for people in need. And a lease option basically means that there's people out there that don't have the ability to buy houses for themselves, but they can do like a rent to own. Like if someone else will get them the house, then they'll work extra hard at rebuilding their credit if they need to, even paying extra money at rent. Hey, a bank won't let me in, but you as the investor will. And in time, we're going to buy the house from you. That is a critical system to doing real estate at any age, even 17 years old. The second system that you really need is what I call partnering. And that's also a program I call Partner Profits. I've made them extremely affordable so that my young friends can get in on them too as a part of their very real world education from your friendly uncle mentor, Kris, okay? And this partnering program is all about, hey, I'm gonna find deals that need money. I don't have credit, I don't have money. Where do I pick that up from? A lease option is what I do with the house, but a partnering is how I get the financial resources. And I'm gonna show you how to find people out there that have the money and credit that will team it up with your sweat equity and being, having your hand on the wheel of doing the lease option system. When you put those two together, listen, that might be the only system you ever need to create as much wealth as you'd ever like to in your life. My father-in-law and I, he was my first of many partners. We've done over 50 properties together. And just think about that for a minute. 50 properties, and we have made a lot of money doing that down the road. I'm very grateful for that relationship, but the training and partnering and the training and lease option ultimately made that possible. So if you're 17 and you're watching this, that means that you're wrapping up high school. You're trying to figure out what your next move is, and make sure you let your mom and dad know. I am not advocating that you do not go to college. In fact, education is amazing. Go get as much as you can, but make sure you're getting the education that matters. Make sure you're getting the education that counts. Because my brother Nick, he dropped out of college to be his own entrepreneur, and real estate was a part of that plan. And I'm just telling you, he sold his last house and made nearly $100,000 just on that one deal alone that I found for him and walked him through with my training and everything. So that same system is actually available on the website so that I can really break that down for you. I guess what it really comes down to that I'm sharing with you today is you're gonna need 3 things, and make sure you've written these down. Number 1, leaders are readers. And that's just for getting an education here in positivity. Train this muscle, train it well. Your mind can be dedicated towards doing so much good for you, or accidentally trained to do so much bad for you. So readers are leaders, and so we're gonna fill this thing with all sorts of good information: positivity, personal development, financial training, okay? I want you to look in those genres. Number 2 is you need specific training for how to get going in real estate. If I could go back and start over and be 17 years old all over again, those 2 courses I mentioned, Lease Option and Partnering Profits, those are the 2 courses that provided all the education I needed to make my first several $1,000,000. So for me, that would be an absolute must. And then the third and final is you need a mentor whose brain you can pick. And if you decide to get started in anything that I do, you're coming into my private Facebook community where we can chat and talk, answer questions, and get you all the information that you need. You're gonna want that hand-holding, a review of deals or contract questions that you're gonna have. And ultimately, if you are being an amazing reader, have the specific training on how to make the money in real estate, and then have someone that you can reach out to for help, friends, those are the 3 most basic elements that my brother had as a 17-year-old that created that wealth for him. It's what I would want for me, and it's what I recommend for you. Hey friends, hope you enjoyed this video. To my young friends out there, there's a shout out from Kris Krohn out to you saying, good on you for waking up and realizing that, hey, it might be up to you to financially set yourself up. It might be up to you to create the destiny that you're ultimately gonna walk down and what that path is. And I'm just here to confirm that yes, it is. And I hope you've enjoyed watching today's video. If you want any of the resources, hit the website. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell. Watching my daily video here is another great way to continue your education process to learn everything you can about your career in real estate.